Fort Payne Wildcats and Coach Chris Elmore beginning his 8th season, I believe, at Fort Payne. Coach, thanks for being with us today. Guys, thanks for being with us. If you'd either introduce them or let them introduce themselves in some opening comments today.
Yeah, I'll introduce him. On my far left is Blake Griggs, who will be our quarterback this year. He's played receiver for us the last 2 seasons. To my immediate left is Riker Engel, who's one of our outside linebacker safeties, was a starter for us last year. And to my right is Cooper Jackson, who was one of our starters at corner last year. He will be a big part of our defense again this year. And on my far right is Riker Shankles, who's started at receiver for us the last 2 years. All 4 of these guys are seniors. I'm proud about the fact that all 4 of these guys are baseball players too. We try to believe in the fact that you can play multiple sports and guys can be successful. And all 4 of these guys were a big part of our baseball team having a good season last year as well. Riker was a pitcher. Riker Engel was a pitcher. Blake and Shank were the middle infield guys, and Cooper was an outfielder and a pinch runner for us. So all 4 guys, big part of our football team last year. All 4 guys, big part of our baseball team, and hopefully it carries over to this year. As far as I say it every year, we're excited about the year. Fort Payne's a little bit different place in that, this morning was really probably the first time that we've had a chance to get every player, every coach together, probably since we played Oxford in October, just because, if things are going to happen in the summer, guys are going to be out, coaches may be out, vacations happen. And today was the first day we kind of got everybody back together again. And so it's exciting to be back in that mode. And we're looking forward to the next 4 weeks of trying to improve, one day at a time. And hopefully we can, be ready to play when that first game comes.
Coach, talk about the things you did this summer to improve as a football team and maybe the things you've got to really work on before the first game coming up this fall.
Well, we've got a lot of work to do. I mean, we do what we do every summer, which is try to focus on strength and speed, number one. We feel like that's the most important thing because we have so many guys that play multiple sports. They live throughout the year, but it's obviously a little bit different lift for them because they're in the middle of a baseball season or middle of a track season or middle of wrestling, basketball, whatever it is. So we try to really focus as much as we can in the summer about as much about strength and speed and quickness as we can. And obviously we mix in as much football as possible in those days. But, and whether that's the right thing to do or I don't know for sure. Maybe it's not, but that's what we've always done. And now's the time for us to really get, real serious about what we're doing football-wise. And I say it every year. We obviously want to come out of the gate hot. We want to play well early, but our main goal every year is to be playing the best football we can play in November. That's our main goal. And, we don't want to not play well early. I don't take that the wrong way. And we did not play well early last year. Part of that was Scottsboro and Guntersville. They did a good job of just getting after us and taking care of business. But we learned a lot those first 2 games, and we improved and got better week by week, and we were playing the best we could play late in the season. And we want to do that again this year. We just would like to get off to a better start, obviously, and than we did last year. But again, the goal is going to remain the same. We want to be the best football team we can be in November and see where that puts us.
Well, Coach, I want to turn back the clock. I mean, there's no doubt about it. Last year, probably the best high school football season in Fort Payne history other than the team that was voted in 1965, but a great run through the playoffs. And I want you to reflect on that just a little bit. I know you have to turn the page, but that also it's a good thing in that these guys have seen success, and now they can raise that bar just a little bit because now the goals become higher.
Yeah, it has. I mean, it was a great year. There's no doubt about it. It's one of those things that we do want to remember that team, and we want to be proud of that team. But it is time to obviously turn the page. And somebody asked me one day how things were going. I said, well, we lost the school record holder at quarterback, school record holder at linebacker, school record holder at receiver, and a school record holder at kicker. And I've lost 2 really good coaches. Other than that, everything's going great. But so it's been a big transition. We lost some really good players, but these 4 guys were a big part of what we did, a huge part of what we did. Blake unfortunately got hurt halfway through the season and missed the last 7 or 8 games. But Blake's been a big part of what we do at receiver for the last 2 years. And Shank's been right there in the middle of it for the last 2 years. He's played now 25 games at receiver. And then these 2 guys, me to my left, were a big part of our defense last year. So I've kind of told them and challenged them as it's a deal where I say all that jokingly, but I think most people would say you can't lose all those guys. You can't lose Dax Varnador and Brandon Oliver and Carter Tinker. And again, I lose, Coach Tinker and Coach Varnador have decided not to coach varsity football anymore because they want to watch their sons chase their dream on Saturdays, which I completely understand. I hated to lose them, but I understand why I did. So you lose all those people, and Connor Hughes and all the things he did for us kicking, and there was more seniors that had great years for us. Most people are going to count us out and say y'all can't do it. Y'all are going. You're not going to win this year. You're going to go 2-8. You're going to go 3-7. So I've kind of challenged these guys that needs to be our motivation. That needs to be our motivation to pick up the slack from where we were and come back this year and try to take that momentum that you said and utilize it, because I think what they saw is if we'll just keep doing what we're supposed to do and keep listening, keep paying attention, and keep trying to get better week by week, we can be a good football team, and it's just a matter of the pieces falling together. And look, we got a lot of good breaks last year. We had some things go our way for sure. And that didn't happen every year. And we've got to stay healthy. We say that and we were not very healthy early in the year last year, but when we got healthy about week 4, week 5, with the exception of losing Blake, we started playing better. And that'll be a big part of what we have to do this year too. We got to keep these guys healthy, and if they can stay healthy, we'll have an opportunity to be a team that can compete with most people.
Coach, you mentioned Connor Hughes. Why is Fort Payne so good at kicking? Like, what is the deal there? And then can you tell us what you got coming up here with Hayden this year?
Yeah, I wish I could say it was me, but it's absolutely nothing to do with me, I can promise you. I call it the McPherson effect is what I call it. I call it the McPherson effect. And I say that jokingly, but it's the truth. Logan started it all, back in whatever year that was, I guess 2010, 11, somewhere in there. Evan watched his older brother Logan do it, got inspired by it. He started doing it. Alex watched his older brother Evan and Logan do it. Alex was kicking in the 3rd grade, and he watched those guys succeed, and he did it. And then as Alex was coming through, Connor Hughes and Hayden Chambers were, in middle school watching Alex do it, and they got inspired. I don't think Hayden. You'd asked Hayden 5 years ago if he's going to play football, he probably would have said no. But when he saw Alex have the success he had, along with that was the same time that Evan was having his success in the Super Bowl. It inspired those two guys to want to try this too, and it's just kind of snowballed from there. And Hayden's as talented as any one of the ones we've had, to be honest with you. Connor was, people have said, well, how as good as Hayden is, why was he not the starter last year? But the answer was Connor didn't miss. I mean, he didn't miss. I think the only kick he actually missed last year was in the Scottsboro game. The other kicks he either made or they were blocked. He only had 2 blocked, I think, all year. So he was just a good kicker, and Hayden was just kind of in the wings waiting. But Hayden was our punter last year, and he also kicked off for us. And he's got a strong, powerful leg, just like Alex did, and just like Evan did. But the answer is I think it's what the McPherson started, and then everybody's kind of followed in suit, and they've all kind of learned from the same pattern. They've all got different coaches, but they've all learned that if you just show up every day and be consistent and do what you're supposed to do, you can get good at something, and that's what they've done. So we're excited to see what Hayden's going to do this year.
So, guys, my questions for the players. Y'all open up with Scottsboro, battle for the trophy. The 40th year for the trophy. Coach Elmore, you told me that last week. I played on the other side of that rivalry, so I want to know what y'all's experience is and what it means to y'all to play Scottsboro and battle for that trophy each year.
So, obviously, it's the biggest game of the year. I mean, we take it very personal. I mean, it's a really big game for us. Obviously, we want to win, and we work, starting now, the first day of practice until the Thursday before the game. That's what we're focused on at Scottsboro. So that's our biggest goal right now.
Yeah. Basically, going off of what he said, I mean, this whole summer it's been Scottsboro. It's been no one else. But, I mean, even if that's the last game of the year, we'd be focusing on Scottsboro for any other team. So,
it's one of the biggest games of the year. Like they said, we've been focused on it since November after the last game of the season. That's what we're focused on.
Yeah, we're just really focused on going 1-0 each week and just going out there and seeing what we can control each game and seeing what we can be able to accomplish each game of the week. And hopefully each of that 1-0 just keeps racking. You have a really good season after that.
This question also for the players, and Coach, if you want to piggyback off them, I'd like to know, as leaders of the team, and you worked out with your team this year, some of the young guys that may not have got a lot of playing time last year is going to have to step up in bigger roles. Who have you seen maybe take a step this year into one of those roles?
I'd definitely have to say probably Patrick Buffington. I mean, we had 8 seniors on defense, and so we only have 3 returners, and probably Patrick Buffington and I'd have to say Caden Adams. They're really going to step up, especially with Caden Adams. He'll have to play both ways. So that's the 2 that I think that have got to step up and that have.
Oh, well, he used 2 really good ones right there, but since I'm a quarterback, I'll name some of my line. Sam Bird, he played a little bit last year, but he's going to have a big role in this year if we want to have success. And as well as Gavin Baumgartner, he's my center. He's going to have to play a big role, and if we want to have success as well. So those 2 guys work hard in the weight room too.
I would have to say another lineman, Colin Wilson. He's really gotten real strong this year, and I think he's going to contribute a lot.
I'd have to say another linebacker. I'd have to say J.P. Buffington. He's a really hard worker and really strong physical guy, and I think he'll really stop the run game at the running teams.
Coach, you want to comment on that?
They named some really good ones. That was part of the key to our success last year was we had guys that nobody had heard of stepped up and had good seasons, and some were seniors, some were juniors, and that's going to have to happen again this year. We'll have to have guys that step in because we do have 3 guys back on defense. We've got about 6 or 7 guys back on offense, but a lot of those guys have some of those guys have changed positions, like Blake's changed positions. So we've got some holes to fill, but 2 guys I wasn't able to bring today that I've been a big part of our team is Carter Blaylock and Jaden Jackson have been huge parts of our team the last 2 years, and both those guys are back and excited to see what they're going to do as well. And Eli Goggins is another young guy that I think is a receiver that is going to step into some of those holes left by Brandon Oliver and some of those guys we lost, and he's had a really good offseason as well and played really well in JV games last year. And I think that's where it starts. You got to go out and play well on Monday night before you can play well on Friday night. And all these guys did that when it was their time. And hopefully these guys that have been playing well on Monday nights will make that transition this year for sure.
Well, Coach, 2-part question. Number 1, you talked about the 2 staff members you lost. Who did you bring in? Talk about your staff that you've had, because several have been around several years. And also, heavy losses on the offensive side of the ball, so you've got to find your playmakers. Are we going to see a little bit of a change in the offense or pretty much the same thing?
I'll go first part. Every year you adapt. I mean, I think, I don't think you sit there and say, this is our offense and we're going to run it no matter who lines up, because that's not the way high school football works. You take who you've got and you adapt, your schemes and your personnel groups and your formations that gives your players the best chance to succeed. And that's what we'll do again this year. And but we have certain things we believe in and that we're going to continue to try to do and try to do it the best we can. But every year's and every even in the season last year we started the season with Scottsboro and Gunnersville. We were a big 4-wide team, and that's who we were, and that's what we had to do. And then Blake got hurt week 5. And we had to adapt. And then Carter Tinker started playing more offense, and we became a little bit more of a tight end team. And we were a different team the last 7 or 8 weeks because of injury. So it'll change. And as far as the staff goes, like I said, Coach Varnado and Coach Tinker were phenomenal coaches and phenomenal men. Coach Tinker's still going to be involved in our junior high program, and he still does our weight room. Coach Varnado will just be he'll just be coaching baseball only now from this point. But as far as who we really just kind of promoted from within. We've had some Matthew Shaddix played for me a few years ago. This will be I think this year I'll have 3 guys, I guess, now that have played for me that'll be coaching with us, and one of them junior high and 2 on the varsity. So I guess that shows you how old I'm. I feel like I'm young, but I guess I'm not young anymore. But 2 guys that have played for me are now coaching, and then basically we just kind of reshuffled. To be honest with you, we Coach Rogers was coaching offensive line with Coach Pinnell. He's moved over and he's going to do linebackers. Coach Peters will work more with tight ends and offensive line as opposed to receivers. And like I said, Coach Shaddix is going to come up and help with our DBs and receivers as well. So Coach Vinson, Coach Prater have been the mainstays for us on the defensive side of the ball for several years now, and Coach Camp as well. And then Coach Thomas, who played for me at Hueytown a long time ago, is one of our offensive coordinator. And then Coach Pinnell and Coach Phillips as well on offense have been mainstays. So it's a lot of similarities or a lot of a carryover, but just, obviously, like I said, losing Coach Tinker and Coach Warner was not ideal. But again, I totally understand it. They need to go be dads and watch those sons chase that dream of playing college football, and we're excited for them to do that.
I want to wrap up your portion, Coach, with asking the players individual goals, team goals this year for the Fort Payne Wildcats.
So my individual goal would probably just be the greatest leader that I can be. Since especially my position, a quarterback, I just need to lead by example every day. Have the right mindset coming into every workout and every practice. I'd say for our team goals, I mean it's pretty simple. Just be 1-0 each week and get better every day. I mean just stack days and whatever happens. Hopefully be 1-0 every week.
My personal goals is probably to push myself and my teammates to their limits and push them through that wall. So I know on Friday nights I can count on them to make a play and stop someone on 4th down. But probably I'd say our team goal is, like Blake said, I mean, just go 1-0 every week. I mean, no matter what happened last week, next week, 1-0.
My individual goal is to be the biggest role model I can be for the young guys. And team goal is to be better than last year, which I think we can do.
Yeah, keeping up with what he said, I just want to be the very best, especially being the best or returning receiver that we really have. Hopefully I can get the younger guys to pick up the pace and know what we're doing with the concepts and all that. So hopefully I can just get them to know what they're doing and we'll have a pretty good offense. And then my team goal, hopefully we can just go 1-0 each week and just be the best very possible you can be.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for being with us today, Coach.
Thank y'all. Appreciate you having us.